Chair recognizes Representative Elder.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to speak in support of Senate Bill 242 and this package. My people sent me to Lansing to do what is necessary to create jobs in our state, and that's why I support this bill. Before I came to the House, I spent significant time working on economic development issues in Bay County. I'm a co-founder and former chair of my county's first public-private economic development entity, Bay Future, which has successfully created hundreds of new jobs and significantly increased our tax base. In the field of economic development, it's important that you be laser-focused on results. You have to take a hard-nosed look at the facts and ask three basic questions. One, what do you get? Two, what do you have to give? And three, is it verifiable? And by these objective criteria, this package passes muster. First, what do we get? These tax incentives are only available to entities that have created certified new jobs in the state of Michigan, and there are three possible scenarios. The creation of 250 new jobs, the creation of 500 new jobs, or the creation of 3,000 new jobs. And let me pause there, Mr. Speaker. My district is home to an outstanding General Motors powertrain plant that traces its history back the better part of a century, but currently has fewer than 250 full-time employees. Any project that qualifies for these incentives in my district would necessarily create more jobs than we have at that plant. Now, these jobs must be full-time, and most significantly, these jobs must pay the average wage or more in the region in which the incentive is used. So in my district, that means the jobs would have to pay between $20.53 per hour to up to $25.66 per hour. In my region, the Next Tier Automotive Facility, formerly known as Saginaw Steering Gear, hires in new employees at $13.50, increasing up to $14.47 after a 90-day probationary period. It should be noted that Next Tier is a UAW plant, and many residents in my district proudly work in that plant. So where I come from, a job paying $25.66 per hour would be a darn good job for many of my people. And that's what we get. What do we have to give? In exchange for new jobs, the state of Michigan has to give up the withholding tax, in other words, the income tax generated by the new job. Why is that a good idea? Because the incentive is paid for by the state of Michigan, not the local taxing units, whereas economic development incentives often revolve around real property taxes. So in my district, local property taxes for the cities, the townships, the county, our library, our community college, our senior citizens millage, our veterans millage, our mosquito control millage, which we're all happy to pay this time of year, are all held harmless. And in addition, the school aid fund is also held harmless by this package. It is entirely appropriate that the largest governmental entity, which is most capable of shouldering the burden, pay for these incentives. And finally, is it verifiable? The answer is yes. The new jobs have to be certified. The Michigan Strategic Fund must verify that. And if a business receives this incentive, they must maintain the number of certified new jobs during the applicable period, or the business must forfeit the tax capture for that calendar year. In addition, the incentive is capped, and there can be no more than 15 eligible projects per year. And finally, we as a state have the opportunity to verify the overall effectiveness of this incentive, because the incentives cannot last longer than December 31st, 2019. That is the last date by which these incentives can be granted. By that time, we will know whether or not this has worked, and we can decide whether it's worth reauthorizing. Now, Mr. Speaker, this is a package that shares both bipartisan support and bipartisan opposition. And I personally count as my friends some of the folks who are going to vote against these bills, which simply means that good, honest, and reasonable people will sometimes disagree on a matter of policy. However, I do wish to point out that we have been listening to our friends in opposition, and through revision and amendments, I believe we have addressed many of their concerns. However, as a member from Bay County, I do want to address one critique in particular that I have heard, And that's the idea that these jobs are not going to come to my area anyway. And let me say point blank, I do not believe that. When I watched videos of the cement being poured in the new Red Wings Stadium, I know residents of my district, proud members of Laborers Local 1098, were on that job site. And every time I see steel beams rising high into the air downstate, I know residents of my district who are proud members of Operating Engineers Local 324 are also on that job site. Every time we build big in the state of Michigan, my people are there. And if my region is fortunate enough to land a white whale, a facility with 3,000 new jobs, then regardless of what county gets that big fish, I know my people will be working there because my people work at Hemlock Semiconductor in Saginaw County, at Dow Chemical Corporation in Midland County, and some commute to the plants in Genesee County. So, Mr. Speaker, I support this bill because I believe it will create new jobs in the state of Michigan, and because I know that the work ethic of the people in the 96th District will guarantee that they specifically will benefit from these incentives. Thank you very much.